Welcome to Jest World YouTube channel, where we live, learn, adventure and charity. We talk about finance, personal development, travel and community service. If this is the kind of content that you're interested in, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. We upload on Wednesdays and Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. and sometimes on Fridays at 1 p.m. East Africa time. Hello good people, hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to talk about travel mistakes that you need to avoid. If you have not watched our previous travel videos, I will link them down below in the description box. Kindly watch. So we head straight to the video. So the first common mistake is forgetting the budget and running out of money. In our previous travel videos, we've talked about the cost of travel, planning and saving for travel. However, in these hard times when inflation is high, you could have planned maybe 6 months ago and then circumstances have changed now. Now the cost of things then and today are different. So you'll find yourself in that situation that when you have traveled as per your schedule, you'll need some extra money. So how do you address that? Sometimes you may have to forgo some of the activities that you had planned, and sometimes you may have to dig deeper to be able to meet that budget. So what do we say? You should always consider your budget as you travel and ensure that it is authentic and not a restriction. We have already said before that you can explore those free sites that you can visit at the same time enjoying your holiday. In case you're traveling and you're not certain as to the actual amount that you're going to need, it's important to have some extra money set aside. It may not even be in your normal account, but somewhere set aside for in case of extras. But we always say work as much as possible to stick to the budget. This helps you in ensuring that you also don't overindulge. But obviously you are allowed to have some breathing room for unexpected expenses. We always say do not be mean to yourself. At the same time, you have to have your budget in mind. The next mistake is having an overambitious itinerary. Instead, be flexible and don't be afraid to change your plans here and there. Sometimes you may plan to go, say for instance, to the beach, and then on the day that you're planning to travel, the weather changes and it's rainy and you may not be able to go there. You may also be planning to visit different sites. Then as you check through your budget, the budget does not allow. So you have to be very flexible. Also, as you move around, you should be cautious of the time that you may need to move from one place to the other. For instance, if you're going to a different town, you have to consider what mode of transport you're going to use and how long it takes to get there. And of course, you need to factor in time for delays, and you're on holiday, so you need time to rest. I think it's good to say that you cannot visit a place in one visit. You can't explore everything. The next mistake, which is closer home to content creators and those people who want to create memories, is not backing up pictures and losing them due to a stolen camera or a virus. Has this ever happened to you? And how did you deal with it? Whether you have lost your content when you're within your neighborhood or you have traveled, comment down below. So it is important for you to carry some USB backup, or you can have them maybe on your email if you're not able to back them up, so that at least you're certain that whatever you have captured, you're able to keep it safe. Remember, your memories are the most valuable things you get from your trips. If possible, back them up more than once. The next mistake is blindly trusting the first directions you get from a local. In a previous video, we mentioned that there is a time we did a review of the Crave restaurant. If you have not watched, it's on our Jest Cuisine channel. And when we were heading there, the Google map was showing us we are just like 5 minutes away. But when we couldn't know the actual location of the place, we decided to take a tuk-tuk, and the guy took us around because he didn't know where the restaurant is, and he didn't even tell us. We ended up having to call after driving around for a while, and then we were directed. And for sure, from our initial place, we were like less than 5 minutes away. It's only that we didn't know the actual location. Had we known, we would have just called and walked there, even without getting the tuk-tuk. So it's important to know your environment. And what they say is, in a previous video, I think we also said that you can ask from the security guards or the people that you feel comfortable asking. So maybe for your safety, you can ask 1 or 2 persons so that you're certain. Actually, you can ask 2 or 3 persons so that you're sure they're not misleading you. The next mistake is dining close to major tourist attractions. Why is this? Of course, if it is a tourist attraction, it means then they have their food and everything good. But that will mean it's an extra cost, which you can save maybe by eating somewhere which is less attractive to the tourists. Comment down below on which hacks you have tried to save when it comes to food. For me, I said in a previous video that when you're really on a tight budget, you can have 2 meals. And by 2 meals, it means you buy breakfast and you have it with you. That is, you buy from the supermarket and make it in wherever you're staying, and then during the day when you're out there, you get a place to eat. And if you're living, say, in an Airbnb, then it's cheaper to even cook from the accommodation place. The other mistake is not confirming your accommodation before you leave. This has happened to us. We did an online booking on booking.com, but unfortunately, we never booked to the end until the accommodation was confirmed. So we leave and we get to wherever we were staying, and only to find that we are not booked, one, and the rooms that we wanted were fully booked. It was not even funny because it was during the time of COVID, and therefore there was a curfew, and you are supposed to be indoors by 9 p.m. and it was 10 minutes to 9 and we don't have accommodation. So luckily there was one room which was above our budget. Actually, it was almost twice our budget, but did we have a choice? No. So we took up the room and our budget was messed from that point. The next mistake is not finding out the meal plan of your destination. So if you're staying in an Airbnb, you need to figure out how to get your dinner or your meal. So that is not a problem. But if you're going to a restaurant, you need to know what time dinner is served, lunch is served, and breakfast is served, so that you are on time. For instance, in the evening, if you're checking in the evening, then you will need to be certain that there will be dinner for you. You might find yourself maybe checking in after dinner time. So if that is the case, how will you ensure that you have dinner? So in this same situation that we were in this particular travel, we did not know the meal plan of the restaurant. So when we got there, the kitchen staff were leaving. What we did not know that there was no food at all, and I don't know what time they served their food. Like I said, we never did our research at that point, so we were not aware of what was happening. So when we asked the receptionist for help, she told us that we can get food from another restaurant which is not so far, and it was allowed to operate 24 hours. But let me just say, we slept hungry, because the first time we called to order, the restaurant told us whatever they were offering, and at first they were not very supportive, so we were really struggling to make the order. Number one. Number two, our follow-ups several times did not yield any results. So we arrived at 9, hungry from a busy day and travel, only to sleep hungry. That was a lesson for us. So please, if you can, avoid this mistake. The next mistake is not reading reviews. To be very honest, this is a lesson that we learned on that particular situation, and when I later checked through the reviews of the restaurant, they were bad. In fact, someone said, "I wish there was a possibility of giving 0 stars to this place." Can you imagine? So it is just unfortunate that if you don't check through to see how they are, you might find yourself in our situation. What has been your biggest travel mistake? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing, and if you're a returning subscriber and my Premier Gang, thank you so much for your support.